Hello there! Today I am here to bring you my 2016 review of my resolutions and also to update you on what I'm going to be doing in 2017 in terms of my reading. As it stands at the year, and it's the 22nd of December at the moment, I have read 121 books. I intend to read another 3 by the end of the year, though that may be a bit ambitious, so I'm hoping that my total for the overall year will be 124. I didn't set any specific number of books that I wanted to have read because I don't like to tie myself up like that. But in my head, I sort of had that I wanted to get to 150, and annoyingly enough, I was well on track to do that. Since about September, my reading has really suffered, and it's sort of had to take a back seat in my life, which is really sad. So I kind of let myself down at the last hurdle, but it's okay, and I'm happy with the amount that I've achieved. I've never actually taken note of how many books I've read in a year, so it's quite interesting to do that, and I'm definitely glad that I started using Goodreads this year so that I could do that, although I use it in quite a selfish way. Like, I don't socialise on it at all. I literally just use it to keep track of my reading, but I find that quite interesting. Hopefully people enjoy seeing what I'm reading, but anyway, so there's that. And in terms of resolutions, I will link my 2016 resolution video down below. Basically, I brought forward with me into this year the resolution that I read one library book a month, which I've achieved. I also wanted to read one short story collection a month, which I have also achieved, and it's quite an interesting one because I struggled reading short stories before, but I've always read them sort of in between other books. I've never just sat down and read short story collections straight through, and I actually think my enjoyment of them was being hindered by the way that I was reading them. Now that I read them straight through once a month, I really enjoy that. So that's been a really good one. And I also had a resolution where I read one non-fiction a month. Again, non-fiction is something that I am interested in, but I fail to pick it up a lot of the time, and it's one of those that gets put to the side and put to the side, so it was quite interesting making that part of my reading, and I've really enjoyed reading non-fiction, and I've read some really good picks, and it's nice to sort of break the reading month up with a non-fiction selection as well, so that's good. And I also had a resolution where I wanted to reread one book every month, because I think a lot of the time with having so many books to read, I fail to go back and revisit books. But it's quite an interesting experience, especially books that I read when I was a lot younger. It's interesting rereading them and seeing how my tastes have changed, and also if they still stand up to the test of time. So that's been another one that's really fun and has been really valuable experience. So I'm going to be taking all of those resolutions with me, hopefully, into the new year. I'm not sure how well I'm going to do on the short story collection front, because I'm running low on short stories and my short story shelf is filled up, in all honesty. So I don't know how far I'm going to take that into the year with me. I'm not going to be too harsh on myself with these, because I don't want to tie myself up too much this year. I want to be quite loose with my reading and just read what I enjoy. I feel like this has been a year of sort of setting myself goals, and that's been fine, but I also, at the moment, especially because I've been sort of struggling to get my reading up and going, I'm thinking that I just want to be more loose with it and read what I fancy when I fancy it, rather than setting specific targets. So I am intending to carry them forward, but I'm not going to be too stringent on them this year, and I'm not going to stress myself out if I haven't achieved them. I'm also going to be adding a new resolution, only one, because I'm quite happy with the way my reading is at the moment anyway, but I'm going to be reading one YA book a month. Now, you might be surprised by this. It's not a case of me wanting to start reading more YA at all. It's a case of me wanting to actually get rid of the YA books I have on my shelf from years and years ago. They have been bugging me. Also, I'm running out of shelf space, and 2 shelves are taken up with YA books that I'm not particularly bothered about, but I feel like I can't quite bring myself to give them away without giving them a go. So I'm going to be trying to read one YA book a month as well, simply to clear my shelves off, and you never know, I might find some gems in there. I have been pleasantly surprised in the past, so hopefully that's going to happen. I don't know how well I'll stick to it, because I do find YA problematic in a lot of ways, but we'll see how it goes. So that's all I really want to do for the coming year. It's not going to change greatly. I'm quite happy with the resolutions that I set last year, and I think carrying them forward is going to be interesting. One thing that I haven't spoken about on my channel, and that sort of happened by accident, because I'm not normally one to set myself such specific reading targets, but I've accidentally started having a to be read pile, and as much as that's a helpful practice, and the reason that I started having a to be read pile is so that I could get to books that have been on my shelf for longer, but it's kind of become a thing now, and I think it's hindering my reading, and also it's making me forget about books that I'm really excited about that are on my shelf. So I would like to get back to the excitement of finishing a book and being able to pick any book I want. Obviously I could do that anyway, but having that pile there of books that I really felt like I should get to was kind of putting me off finishing books because I didn't want to read them. I mean, there's books on there that have been on there since May, and I feel like it's too much and it's too restricted and it's ruining my reading experience, so I'm going to try and scrap that. And I don't even know how it happened. I think it literally was just a case of me looking through my bookshelves and being like, these books have been on here far too long, I'm going to set them aside and I'm going to make sure I read them. And it's kind of just become a thing that I do and I don't want to do anymore. But that's all that I really have to tell you. It's not going to be, as I say, it's not going to be a great change next year apart from the YA thing, and I'm not 100% sure how well that's going to go. Hopefully well. I would like preferably to clear those shelves off for the most part by the end of next year. If I'm honest, I would like only really half a shelf of YA, because it's just not my genre, and I've got books that need to go on my shelves that are far more my cup of tea, so I would really like to clear that shelf space off. But yes, that's everything. I hope you're all having a Merry Christmas and a good New Year. Let me know down below what your reading resolutions for the next year are, and if you've got videos out there about your reading resolutions, link me and I will check those out as well. Bye!